Michelle and Pamela Ann on Awaken, and we're here today. We're going to talk about four-letter words.
Oh, I love four-letter words.
Yeah, especially, just kidding. Bad ones, just kidding.
All right, speaking of that, these are words, these are four-letter words that your auntie, your teetotaling auntie, or your pastor, or, people will use all the time, including
Your mentors.
Yeah, and mentors too. Mentors use them a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
Really smart people.
Yeah. Okay, I'm adjusting this slightly, and there you go. All right. So, diving into four-letter words. These are not the kind of words that you're thinking that we're going to be saying.
Which ones are those?
These are the kind of. I won't go into detail with those words.
You have to figure that out on your own.
Yeah. I'm sure you could figure out those kind of words, but these are different words. In the beginning, they were talking about, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. All right, well, we're not going to go into saying a bunch of stuff about God, but what we're saying is that these divine beings spoke worlds into formation by using their words.
And people don't realize how powerful our words actually really are. That actually does start the creation of our life.
Right.
Every detail.
Every detail.
And so what we're speaking about and thinking about, we're creating.
We are. And so take note of what are you thinking, what are you speaking, what are you emailing, what are you texting, what are you watching on TV, because you are forming your world. And when we're talking about divine beings, we are their children, so we can become like them, and we have the ability to command and create worlds right now. And it's kind of like really great that we have this practice kind of place to practice in, so we're not like blowing up galaxies and stuff and saying, oops, can we have a do-over? We're actually doing it right now. So if you're creating these wonderful opportunities in your life, or if you're destroying your life, or you're creating the same thing over and over and over again, like you see people that go through marriage after marriage after marriage, but they haven't really learned why did they even draw that first marriage together, and so they create it again. Sometimes each marriage is worse. It's expanding and getting worse and worse and worse until they get it. And then they find this like great sweet spot and have this amazing relationship that they can really have this depth of joy and happiness. Well, the same thing with people who get themselves in scrapes with the law. You see it happen over and over and over and over, and they end up going to prison or to jail numerous times over and over and over again. Or there's people that create these amazing businesses, and every time it's like it's the Midas touch. It's just gotten better and better and better. So what is going on? What is the dynamics? Well, then you'll see these mentors that will use four-letter words that are maybe not in the best interest of the people that they're teaching. So, all right, on my website, PamelaAnnEzel.com, is a chapter of my book, Mindset of Miracles, that talks about four-letter words. So you can just type it in. You can look up a radio program that talks about four-letter words. And and you can see how these words can command or destroy what's happening in these different people's lives. And so, like for instance, let's just dive in so that you're not like, I don't understand what she's talking about. What the heck is going on? I guess heck is a four-letter word.
You're good with math. I'm not.
But you'll like, I hear people speaking, and like they'll say, oh, life is just so hard. It's just so hard. Hard is a four-letter word. It's one of the ones I'm talking about. They'll say it, and I wish we were just talking about this. They'll say it like 3 times. They have just commanded their world to be hard. That's
special numbers. 3
sacred
numbers.
Yeah. So or they'll say, it's just so much work. It's just so much work. Well, then your life is going to be filled with work. Now, there are some four-letter words that are really great. It's like love, hope. But even hope is on the bubble.
Yeah.
Because they
how
don't
you use it, maybe.
Yeah, right.
And what's
right.
behind it.
And if there's a yearning involved with it, or if there's this like the divine does not require for you to beg. They are living gods that you can ask one time, and they hear you perfectly and they remember perfectly and they know how to dial it in for you. If you ask over and over and over, it basically means that you don't trust and believe in them. And so you are to command your world with precision, free of any doubt, wavering, worry, fear, any of that. What would you love to see happen with your world? Say what you love to see happen, and then go on with your life, because it's important that you clearly understand what you'd like and put as much detail as you would like to in it, and then get out of the way and let them form what they are supposed to do as living gods and bring it to you easily and quickly. So if you keep muddling in it and not just going on and living your joy-filled life, and that's another thing, fill your life with joy, that means you're connected to them, shoulder to shoulder with them, you know, and you're able to create what you would really love to see happen. But your responsibility is to come to this earth and live a joy-filled life and have happiness and ease in your life. And yeah, you can do things where you're like creating things and doing things, because that's a lot of fun too. But allow the divine to be a participant, to partner with you. And a lot of times people will say, well, what do you want? Oh my gosh, let go of that, because want is another 4-letter word. And you'll hear these teachers and stuff saying that word a lot.
So instead you say, what would you like?
And that's a 4-letter word.
Better
but it's
4-letter
like,
words.
What would you love? What would you like? What would you prefer? What would give you jiggy juice inside your body? Like, oh my gosh, that would be wonderful. What would you feel passionate about? Those are the words to use, because even if you say, I really want, how does that feel?
Right.
I really want.
Well,
it's
what the
almost
want
like a
word
whining,
does, it almost feels like it has the energy, and it's the feeling behind it, I think.
It's the feeling.
It's the feeling behind it. It's you're wanting something that you don't have.
Right.
It's not really
You're feeling a
suggesting
feeling of lack.
Correct. Yep. It's like it's not there yet. You need it. You can't get it. Whatever you
And need
are.
is the same thing. It's right up there with want.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like this yearning, this lack, this, I don't have it. You're focused on what you don't have.
Correct.
Instead of this excitement of what you would love to have instead, and this picturing of how fabulous it would be to have that in your life.
Yeah.
And then going on with it. And the reason why you put as much detail as you would love to see happen in that is because then when they bring it to you, you recognize it.
Yep.
You know that is what you have requested, and you, even though it might be like, wow, this is amazing, you grab hold of it, you take it, you own it, you allow it to be yours.
Yeah. So
that's really important, and a lot of people don't recognize that. And it's like this guy that was telling me that his teacher is pain. I was telling you about this, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I heard another guy that is a major mentorish kind of guy that says his teacher is pain and suffering and hardship. And I'm like, what are you people talking about?
Right.
That is not how the divine does things. I mean, that is very off. But, if that's what you'd like, okay. But as it turns out, this guy's wife that was talking to me was on drugs and stuff like that, and he was using her as his excuse for being distracted from what he would love to command in his life. And he was saying to me, I would love to have that relationship with the divine.
Right.
And how come you have it and I don't? I said, well, everybody has it unless you're distracted and you're not hearing it. Everyone has it, especially when you first come here. Oh my gosh, you are loaded with that connectivity with them. But then you start getting distracted with the things that are happening in the world, and you no longer allowing yourself to have that pure flow within your body because you're so busy sticking your nose and being concerned and being filled with worry and fear and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're not feeling that connectivity.
Well, and then they lose connection with it and even start to feel like they don't know how to make that connection in the same way.
Which is valuable.
Anymore.
That's valuable because you start missing that. You start feeling like there's something that's missing here, and it creates just this desire for you to search for something better.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's all good. You haven't screwed up. You
I
haven't
think
messed,
when you
missed out
desire
on
something,
anything.
that means it's out there for you,
Yeah.
because you wouldn't have
You
the
can feel it.
desire if it wasn't able to be fulfilled.
Yeah, you can feel it. You can feel it, and that's why it's important that you go beyond just the regular going to church every Sunday and listening to what your government says and listen to what your parents say and listen to all that. You're to go beyond any of that to this other realm that is just filled with this amazing knowledge base, specifically for you and your happiness and joy.
Right.
And how do you think some of these amazing doctors and scientists and writers and artists, how do you think they were able to come up with the stuff that they come up with? Is that they took the journey
Right.
and they allowed themselves to go beyond. They took that quantum leap. And, once you've tasted it, you don't settle for anything less. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. And you don't get yourself concerned about other people's opinions of you or what other people are doing. You let them live their lives. You don't try to micromanage them, but you live this wonderful, amazing life. And a lot of people have wondered, well, how have my husband and I done some of the businesses and the things that we've done in our lives and grown and expanded like we have? And one thread that has always been consistent is that we haven't been concerned. It's not that we don't care about other people, and we certainly are very supportive of other people and love on other people, but we're not concerned and
About judgment.
judging them and sticking our noses in them and trying to micromanage them or anything like that. We're very busy living our fullness of our life as much as we possibly can. And your life example can do more than the words that you teach. Your life example and your personal life example, aside from my personal life example, is more important because that's where you really learn. That's when you're like, oh my gosh, that's right. I really do have the ability to tap into that and have these juicy things happen in my life.
Yeah. I think your catchphrase is juicy, and we maybe should rename our little podcast to The Juicy Life.
Well, it really is
juicy
so much
squeeze.
fun because you wake up and you just are like, I mean, seriously, every single day I do my meditations and I set out my intentions of what I'd like to see happen that day, and they happen. So sometimes in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And so for somebody that is having a hard time connecting, what do you recommend for them to do most in order to be able to start down that path?
Meditate. And that's what this guy was doing. He was blaming his wife for why he wasn't moving forward. And I said, don't do that.
Right.
I said, you just go do what you're supposed to be doing with your life. Let her alone. Yeah, she might be on drugs and things like that, but your life example of just living this amazing life will give her the impetus and the courage to do the same, because right now she's sitting back. Well, what else are you going to do for me? What else are you going to do for me? How are you going to take care of me? You put your attentions in such directions that it's not going to serve you, and it's not going to serve her either. So now he's making the changes. He's like, can I come and live with you for a while? I said, yeah, sure. If you have a tent or a trailer, you can come to the land and live with me for a while. He goes, I'm going to do that. Because I taught him how to do some of these things, and he hasn't applied it. He's been so busily distracted with all this other stuff as an excuse for not really getting engaged with his life. And I'm like, leave her alone. Let her finish her run on that. You keep interfering with her finishing out learning about, is this satisfying or is this not satisfying? So she keeps starting over and over again, and your kids will do the same thing. If you keep interfering with what they're supposed to be learning with their life missions, then they create it again, only bigger. It's not cool.
No.
Yeah, meditation is key. It's really a big deal.
Yeah, it's important. And it doesn't have to be a long time.
No, I started out with, I teach people mini meditations, and I teach them different types of breathing. And many meditations is written down on my website,
Right.
PamelaAnnisale.com, and anything you guys would like to learn or do, you can reach out to us and have that happen for you. Because
Absolutely.
why? Because you're worth it. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that. So, I think, do you have anything else you'd like to share today with that?
No, well,
beforehand?
we're good.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you for tuning in to this episode. And if you like this and you found it valuable and you feel like it's doing good for you, you know of somebody else who might benefit from this, you can share it with them. And also, please subscribe and hit that bell down below so that you don't miss any of our upcoming little episodes. Have a good one.
Bye.